Yo, what is going on, everybody? I got a great one for you today. So I've got probably almost 6,000 articles bookmarked, right? Referencing anything that you can imagine, whether it's, mothers throwing their sons in creeks, whether it's divorce rape, whether it's, uh, strength training, or like whatever you want. I got that shit. I got it all backed up, right? So I was going back through my archives today, and I was like, man, what can I serve up? What can I serve up my peeps here today, right? I want to help you guys out with a bit of entertainment, right? Let's head into what day are we today, man? It's just the start of the week, right? Some of you need a little pick me up, so let's get started on this bad boy. Man says letting his wife sleep around helped him get feminism. I was gonna put that exact title in the video title actually, but A, it didn't sound as good as this title. B, it's the same thing, and C, it wouldn't fit. That's what she said. Here we go. Open marriage can teach its participants about a lot of things: trust, communication, attraction, the limit of our own possessive and jealous hearts. And now we've got one more to add to the list, with this man who says that agreeing to sleep with other people has helped him finally get feminism. Of course it has. Never date a feminist. Readers, however, are not so sure they're buying this inspirational journey. Her words, not mine. Writing at New York Magazine, self-described feminist and stay-at-home dad Michael Sonmore pens a heartfelt narrative about his journey towards an open marriage and the way it puts feminism in a new light for him. Fuck that. I'm not calling this guy Michael Sonmore. I'm going to call him Buck. Buck the Cuck. Because that's exactly what he is. Man, I bet his wife's on OnlyFans as well. You know what? You guys are my OnlyFans, right? Except I don't charge you a monthly fee to see selfies of me. I'll just give them to you right here, right? There you go. Specially prepared just before the show for you all. Before my wife started sleeping with other men, I certainly considered myself a feminist, Buck says. But I really only understood it in the abstract. When I quit working to stay at home with the kids, I began to understand it on a whole new level. Now facing the withering drudgery of taking care of kids, he doesn't blame women for demanding more for themselves than the life of the housewife. That's very generous, though I have to wonder if this means he did in fact blame them before. Was he the sort of guy who thought they had it pretty good and wondered what all the griping was about? Next, he checks his privilege, acknowledging that even as a man staying home with kids, he can still be a man because of sexist attitudes. Now, I'm hearing a whole lot of bullshit come out of this writer's mouth. This writer's name is Tracy Moore. Now, guys, whenever you see a bullshit article, whenever you see an article that sounds so retarded that it can only be from a feminist, I want you to go and do what I'm about to do. I want you to go find who wrote the article and click on them and see what they have to say. Ha! Wouldn't you know it? Her first article is "My Life as a Boner Killer." Yeah, exactly. My life as a boner killer. In literature and life, men and women still want different things in a mate. But yet you expect us to feel exactly the same way about being at home? I mean, so you know that men and women are different, right? Like you just said that, literally. You just said that, to paraphrase you. How sorry do we feel for the lonesome single bachelors of New York? I wonder. You know what? Maybe that might be a different video. I'm not gonna go into that today. Public service announcement: take your fucking lunch break. That's another one of her articles. Living together might be just as beneficial as marrying, especially for women. Yes, because women overwhelmingly get the rent paid for them when they live with someone else. Instagram husband is an accidental ode to the still shitty gender dynamics of success. No, your adult kids don't have to talk to you whenever you want them to. So kids, you don't have to talk to your parents. Ignore your parents. Especially if it's your dad, right? I bet that's what she means. Yeah, have fun. If you ever have kids, that's if you're not already a walking egg cemetery. I don't expect that you will have kids at any time in the near future, reading what I'm reading here. Be very, very careful when remarrying. Oh, so she's been married before. Of course she has. Is freezing your eggs all it's cracked up to be? Don't steal that article. That's going to be mine tomorrow. Don't even read it. Just watch me tomorrow. Should we be mourning the accidental pregnancy? Feeling undesirable? Try staring at men for a change. But don't you dare, men, stare at a woman unless she wants you to. Because that's sexism, that's misogyny, and that's sexual assault. As I comb my purple hair, I realize I have no hair. It was just me embodying being a feminist. That was me being trying to understand what it's like to be that retarded. Let's talk. Like, guys, you can't even make this up, right? So she penned these articles literally 1 day apart. 1 day apart. You cannot make this up, right? On the 21st of November 2015, she said, hang on. Yeah, 22nd of November 2015, she said, let's talk about receiving weird, unwanted attention. The very next day, the 23rd of the 11th, 2015. Feeling undesirable? Try staring at men for a change. But God forbid men stare at you in the workplace. This is the cognitive dissonance of feminists. I'm not going to go any more down that list because I'm just going to go down a whole new rabbit hole and I'm not even going to finish this article. And I promised you guys that title, so I'm going to give you that title. Let's get back into this. So, after he's apparently checked his privilege, acknowledging that even as a man staying at home with the kids, he can still be a man because of sexist attitudes. Buck the cuck says, mothers care, fathers provide care. The difference is crucial. So, mothers get money from the person who provides the care, from the father who provides the money so the care can be provided. Is that what you're saying? Because it sounds an awful lot to me like that's exactly what you're saying. Mothers care, fathers provide care. The difference is crucial. Despite my total withdrawal from the economy and the traditional sources of masculine identity, I can still argue I am a provider. I provide care. Fucking hurrah for you. That's called being a dad, you dipshit. But that kind of care only keeps the home fires burning so hot. When his wife cheated on him, he understood what being a man really meant. Oh, shit. So this guy reckons he only understood what it's like to be a man once his wife cheated on him. This is some simp shit if I ever heard it. It wasn't until my wife mentioned one evening that she'd kissed another man and liked it and wanted to do more than kiss next time that I realized how my status as a man depended on a single fact, that my wife fucked only me. Well, the monogamous agreement he and his wife had agreed on also depended on that simple fact. But okay, let's keep going with this. Buck the Cuck explains the decision to partake in an open marriage as one driven by his wife's lack of sexual experience prior to marrying him. She'd only had sex with a handful of people. His words, not mine, and I question that. but had no boyfriends, no lovers, he writes. He's the only horse she's ever really ridden. And kids and hitting her mid-30s made all this painfully clear. She wanted to get out there and get some and make up for lost time. So she's like, hey, I didn't get to do monkey double backflips or ride the CC in my 20s or in my teens or in my late 20s or even right at the start of my 30s. So I want to get onto that shit now, right? Who cares what my husband and the father of my kids wants? Who cares? Who cares about any of that? I just want to get my meat flaps wet with someone other than him, right? It doesn't matter that he gave me everything that nobody else ever gave me, right? It doesn't matter that he sacrificed everything. Doesn't matter that I'm cheating on him. Doesn't matter that I want to ride other guys' dicks. Doesn't matter that I'm telling him this. Right? This is what I want, so this is what I'm going to get, is what she's telling you. So if you ever, and guys, I got to tell you, there was one girl, don't let your girlfriend hang out with slutty friends either. Right? I'm going to put this tone down for a second, because this is really important to know. If your girlfriend is hanging around with girls who are sluts, your girl is going to likely either start hating her friends or become a slut. The chance of the second one happening first are more probable than the first one happening first. That's if the first one even happens. Right, I was dating this chick and she started hanging out this gold digging whore with big titties who was like, she was churning through them, like churning and burning, like next. You got a ticket machine, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These guys are taking tickets and they're burning through their tickets as quick as they can pick them off, right? That line's just moving along. Next, I'm done with you. See you later. You bought me my new iMac and my MacBook Pro and a fucking Roomba and a Tiffany bracelet. Now fuck off so the next guy can start spending on me. That's literally what this chick was like, right? What made it even worse, right? She was Chinese, but she had some big ass titties, right? And like when she was in her 20s, those titties were amazing, but they ain't so amazing anymore. I was putting it out there. I ain't hating, right? I enjoyed looking at those titties, right? But I did it from a distance, right? Because I'm loyal to someone else, right? And this chick, like I was at her house almost every day. Like I never, did anything untoward while I was with her. Like I was straight down the line, right? But yet I was her first, right? I took her virginity. So I was like 28, she was 18. By the time she was 19, she was like, hey, you've had all this sexual experience and, I want to know what it's like to have sex with someone else as well. And I didn't want to upset her, right? So I'm still this blue pill little mangina back then, right? I just want to please her, right? So I was like, well, I guess you can talk to him. And I wasn't cool with it, but I didn't know how to say no. Right? By the way, no is the most important word in the English language. I know you've heard me say that a million times before, but I will keep saying it till the day I die because it is a fact. So let's get back into this. But so yeah, like just don't hang out. Don't have a girlfriend who's got sluts for friends. Just it's not worth the headache and it's not worth the risk. Period. And of course now she got plumped up lips and dates rich boyfriends and all that shit. So they get a taste for for monkey branching. Once they get the taste, once they get the taste and their friends are encouraging them, that becomes the pattern moving forward. Thank God I'm not like that anymore. All right, so this sounds like the genesis for plenty of open marriage stories in which one or both partners discover that life with only each other isn't enough, yet life without each other is too much. Where it gets interesting is where Buck the Cuck explains the feminist part. Buck the Cuck continues. Monogamy meant I controlled her sexual expression, and not to get all women's studies major about it, patriarchal oppression essentially boils down to a man's fear that a woman with sexual agency is a woman he can't control. We aren't afraid of their intellect or their spirit or their ability to bear children. We're afraid that when it comes time for sex, they won't choose us. This petty fear has led us as a culture to place judgments on the entire spectrum of female sexual expression. If a woman likes sex, she's a whore and a slut. If she only likes sex with her husband or boyfriend, she's boring and lame. If she doesn't like sex at all, she's frigid and unfeeling. Every option is a trap. No, listening to feminists is a trap, because it leads you down the path of spouting bullshit like this. Because here's the thing, right? You think that women don't control men because they're afraid of men's sexual agency? Of course they do. Of course they're afraid you're going to bang someone hotter and more attractive to them. And that's why smart women know how to treat their men like a king. And in return, most of the time, if they've chosen well and they're not a shitty judge of character or not attracted to shit qualities that their whore friends have told them to be attracted to, because that's usually where the money is, because people who tend to be the biggest pricks are the most savage in business. That's just real talk, right? Fortunately, there's a lot of good guys out there who are very smart in business, who are also really good guys, but just know how not to be walked over. And those are the guys that aren't available to these monkey branches, which is why these women tend to, more often than not, only know that one type of guy. While this is true in the broader historical sense, it actually makes no sense whatsoever when it comes to an individual, or rather two individuals, negotiating their own marital status or notions of commitment. Yes, men have historically tried and often succeeded in controlling women and policing their sexual behavior. But yeah, like women don't police men's sexual behavior. Get the fuck out of here. But asking a woman, you marry to fuck only you, is not inherently sexist or misogynistic if, crucially, it goes both ways. Wait. Okay, so it's not sexist or misogynistic if it goes both ways. So if you allow a woman to control you, you're allowed to control them. Is that what you're saying here, Miss Feminist, Miss I hate men who exert power and control over women? Is that what you're saying to me? Because it sounds an awful lot like that's what you're saying. And I think you should give your thumbs up right now if you think this feminist is full of shit. More and more people are experimenting with that agreement, and more power to them. But it's not necessarily a feminist or social justice coup, as it's only a coup in our trajectory of understanding desire, sex, or some ineffable part of our basic nature, that many of us can love more than one person at a time, or at least fuck them, and still stay anchored to a partner, perhaps for companionship, perhaps for child rearing, perhaps for kicks. Oh, just for shits and giggles, let's be attracted to the beta male. Like, let's just be with the beta male for shits and giggles, for child rearing, for companionship, while we fuck the alpha male, while we fuck Tyrone and Chad. That's the reality of the situation out there, men. This is the mindset of a feminist. And that two mature individuals who want to experiment with such arrangements ought to be able to explore that. You see, it's funny that there's no mention here whatsoever of him going out and fucking other chicks. Just her going out and fucking other dudes. I think Buck the Cuck is onto something in the sense that without feminism, his and his wife's situation would be much less likely to have happened. Yeah, so without feminism, which teaches women that they can have the beta male while they're screwing the alpha, right? Feminism teaches that, right? And it's also spread out into the broader culture. It's spread out into the broader awareness of women that they can actually have their cake and eat it too, right? And look, if you are an alpha male, if you're just a guy who doesn't want to be taken advantage of, it's so important for you to know these things, because if you're not aware of these things, if you don't know these things, then what's essentially going to happen in the long run is that you're going to find yourself in a position where this shit happens. Right? Like, literally, this is going to be what's going to happen to you if you don't understand that this is what popular culture is teaching women collectively. Yes, there are some women out there that don't behave like this. All women have certain traits that are characterized by hormonal fluctuations. Some are more extreme, some are more mild. But understanding that helps you to expect it, weather that storm if you're in a relationship, and move past it as it happens, as if it never happened, right? Just treating it as part of the navigation of the relationship and something you got to deal with. And that's like that's why casual sex relationships can work so well for guys, especially if it's with women that they don't have an emotional attachment to. If you got an emotional attachment to a woman you're having casual sex with, it's going to become a problem for you in the long term. Right? I'm just letting you know that, guys, because it's just how it is. Here we go. Feminism is the reason that his wife is working and earning a wage that allows him to stay home. Feminism is the reason it's acceptable for him to stay home. Feminism has no doubt given her and him both a language with which to regard both their sexual appetites as equal, but more importantly, for both of them to flip that script. Feminism is the reason she ever thought she had a right to those desires, that she was able to say them out loud, that he had any motivation to listen, to hear her, to understand. So I'm not dogging the guy. I think giving someone the space to talk freely about their desires, particularly when they don't involve you, takes enormous openness, security, and love. Now, I'm going to break that last paragraph from this crazy down, right? Because there's a lot of things that I need to pick out here, and I need to make real fucking clear. First of all, without feminism, him and his wife's situation would have been much less likely to have happened. Yes, because feminism and popular culture for women would not have told her that it's okay for her to fuck other guys than her wife, and all she has to do is ask. Feminism is the reason that his wife is out working and earning a wage that allows him to stay home. Yeah, and before feminism was the reason that your husband had to work and earned a wage that allowed you to stay home. So all you've done is gone, oh, well, we've got the power and control and the money now. And that's the way we want it. And feminism allowed that to happen. That's exactly what it allowed to happen. It allowed women to take power and control over men. Coach Craig Adams, my boy, in the building. So shout out to you. Thanks for getting the brothers together a few weeks ago. It's my pleasure, brother. I'd love to have you in again, maybe this weekend. I'm going to hit you up on Twitter after this. And also, guys, if you live in the States and you're wanting to know how to financially break out right now during this pandemic, I want you all, after this, to go over to Coach Greg Adams' channel, check out the last video he dropped with, he had a chartered practicing accountant called Chris on there. Really nice guy who teaches you how to take advantage of the current climate and climb the financial ladder and get out of this financial slavery that so many of you are in. Shout out to you, Coach Greg Adams. I appreciate you, brother, my boy. And also, Umair with Canadian $5. Yo, Sid, what are your thoughts on surrogacy? Know anyone who had kids through renting that peace leave and getting what you want? Man, I don't recommend surrogacy. I don't know. Like, if I'm going to go down that path, I'm going to hang out for the artificial wombs. I'm just saying. So yes. So yeah, feminism is apparently the reason his wife's working. No, the Industrial Revolution is the reason his wife's working. Women were working from the 1800s onwards. They were working. Yes, there were some inequalities in the workplace. Yes, I don't dispute that. But they're long gone and the script's been flipped. Now the inequality has been put onto men, right? As apparently to help women up, help them break that glass ceiling. Listen, ladies, if you're going to work hard enough to get anywhere near that glass ceiling, you're going to find there ain't shit up there. Just be able to walk straight up onto the rooftop, right? Because if you put in the work, if you put in the time, if you put in the hours, if you put in the dedication, you'll get there. But most of y'all don't want to put in the time and dedication. Most of y'all don't want to sacrifice. Right? I've got the statistics from the Australian Bureau of Statistics showing that in 2016, when they did the census, across every single age group from cradle to the grave where you're pushing up daisies, every single age group, men on average work more hours than women. And what happens when you work overtime? You get overtime. And what happens when the overtime has an overtime loading, say 1.5 time, double time, 2.5 time, triple time? Public holidays, it might even get jacked up. Like if you're working on a public holiday that's also a weekend, and on top of that, like you're working extra hours, man, that over, like, see you later, like cashed up, baby. You know what I mean? And women on a public holiday, they're like, oh, I get a day off. I'm going to go home. I'm going to spend time with the kids. I'm going to play fucking Farmville on Facebook for a little bit. And, you know, I'm going to, like, see who's been sliding up in my DM, see if I can get some monkey double backflips on the next chat or Tyrone rocking up. You know what I mean? So that's the situation. Feminism has no doubt given her and him both a language with which to regard both their sexual appetites as equal. Maybe this guy wants to go out and slam some puss as well. Maybe this guy wants to go out and, like, chow down on some some clam, you know what I mean? Maybe that's what he wants. But he ain't gonna get none of that. He ain't getting shit. This guy is getting completely cocked. This isn't an even relationship. This is not equal treatment of sexual appetites as equal. Like, I guarantee you, if he's out in the workplace and he's finding girls that he's attracted to, he's gonna want to lay some pipe, right? But you know, instead the guy's at home being a good house bitch, right? Being a good house cock, good old buck. Well, she's out there. She's wanting to do monkey double backflips. She thinks she's got all the power and control. And you know what? She does, because she's got this between the legs. That's just the reality of it, man. You got to understand how to be the architect of your own safeguarding. Buck the cuck goes on. Feminism always comes back to sex, even when we're talking about everything else. The point isn't that all women should be sexual adventurers. Celibacy is as valid an expression of sexuality as profligacy. I don't know what profligacy is. I'm going to check that out in a second. The point is that it should be women who choose, not men, even the men they're married to. And they do choose, right? They make that choice. You know why? Because they say yes when you propose to them, when you buy the diamond ring, when you get down on one knee, right? When you fucking lay all the flowers and the fucking petals out on the bed, right? They make the choice. And guess what? They overwhelmingly make the choice to divorce as well. They make all the choices. Briefold's law, baby. Women determine all the conditions of the animal kingdom. If you don't know Briefold's law, you need to go check it out to understand more about why that girl that you've done so much for in the past is now breaking up with you, because there's no promise of future gain for her. Brifffaults law. Brifffaults. Now, this is 28 minutes and 20 seconds into this video. So jot down 28 minutes as your reference point if you want to go back and search that up later. For my wife, the choice between honoring our vows and fulfilling desires was a false choice, another trap. She knew how deep our love was and knew that her wanting a variety of sexual experiences as we traveled through life together would not diminish or disrupt that love. It took me about 6 months, many long, intense conversations, and an ocean of red wine before I knew it too. A, her love for you is not as deep as how deep she wants Chad and Tyrone to be up in her right now, right? Because otherwise she'll maybe have a little more respect for you. She might be like, hey, listen, you know, I want to broaden my sexual experiences. Can we maybe, like, find a partner who wants to partner swap so you can get some peace leave while I get some dick? I'm still not down for that kind of situation, right? Because, like, for me, there's either two girls or there's nothing, right? One girl or more for me in a sexual situation. If there's any swords flinging around while I'm in the bedroom, nah, I'm out of the jousting fight, brother. You know what I mean? I'm not playing that game. And, you know, he says it should be women who choose, not men, even the men they're married to. Right. She chose you as the provider. That's what she chose. She chose you as the financial provider. is the emotional provider. Sure, she's the financial provider now, but that just gives her more leverage later, because when she chooses to divorce you, which is probably going to happen because I doubt she respects you anymore, given what you've just told me. Like, what did you really expect, guys? Seriously, I mean, I just can't understand men that keep falling into this trap over and over and over and over again. Maybe it's because you guys don't have red pill knowledge yet. That's why you need to listen to people like me, people like Coach Greg Adams, people like, you know, Better Bachelor, people like Sandman. You know, like, I know not everyone's a fan of all of those people, but like, we've all got stuff to say that you need to know if you don't know what it is that we know. That's what I'm saying. All right, let me flick back to this. Oh, here we go. By the way, this still isn't enough for the feminist who's writing this article. That sounds nice, but feminism is not a zero-sum game. It doesn't necessitate that women decide who they have sex with instead of their partners. Feminism preaches equality and egalitarianism. Bullshit, it does. It does not preach egalitarianism. You are full of shit. What you're basically doing is you're taking all the guys who say, no, feminism's bullshit because egalitarianism is the only true doctrine of equality, or as close as you'll get with men and women being different, right? But you can't then turn around and be like, hey, feminism's about equality and egalitarianism. Well, equality of outcome is not egalitarianism, right? Those two things are fundamentally and diametrically opposed, feminism and egalitarianism. She goes, it leaves room for and strongly suggests a situation where partners decide together what their commitment means and what forms of individual sexual expression may take in the context of any relationship, period. For what it's worth, commenters on the piece think he's lying about all of it. I'm gonna read those for you in a second because they're hilarious. But Harry Holbrook, thank you. You're a generous brother, man. He says, with $5 donation, women choose who they F, men choose who they commit. Yeah, women do choose who they fuck, and men choose who they commit to. Don't commit. Sorry, I'm just going to readjust this a little bit here. It says, don't commit. Stay safe, men. We are the prize. Not the women. We are the prize. That is 100% correct. That is 100% correct. Right? And General Motors, we've got a female CEO. They're in big trouble. Holden's just bowed down out of Australia. Raylene Castle, the very masculine looking, not that there's anything wrong with that, right? Masculine right here. I'm cool with that. I just don't have black eyeshadow and a bowl wig like Raylene Castle, right? That's the wrong type of masculine. If you, I'm just, hey, whatever. You can look however you want, Raylene. Just don't expect the guys to come running. Anyway, but Raylene Castle, the Rugby Australia CEO, man, she's under some serious fire right now. She's under serious fire right now. Woo, damn. And so here's some of the commenters. Here's some of the men that have commented. Well, I mean, some of these are girls and some of these are guys commenting, and they all think that Buck the Cuck is full of shit. First one, Smelly Doofus, says, your wife's a tramp and you're a wuss. No biggie, but no need to crow about it. 100%. 100% on the money right there. Text Boy says, monogamy in marriage isn't a man controlling a woman's sexual expression. It's a mutual contract to be faithful to each other. That's the key point. And if you don't want to enter into a contract where she's allowed to break it, but you aren't, right? Then don't get married, guys. Just saying. She took her marriage vows of her own free accord. This guy is just rationalizing being a cuckold. Bingo. I mean, that basically just summarizes the whole article right there. Right? That guy knows what's up. Design Girl says, this has nothing to do with feminism. This is her deciding she's polyamorous after she married you and manipulating you into buying into it. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Now, God, and she's still going to keep going. She's still going to keep going. Let's just see what this nut job has to say. Who is to say whether Sonmore is truly at peace with what he's written here or not? I wouldn't bother speculating, but readers are wrong about one aspect of their complaint. It's not that a woman deciding to participate in an open marriage has nothing whatsoever to do with feminism. Feminism has, after all, finally given us something pretty close to the potential for a marriage of true equals. Discrepancies in earning power, time spent on domestic tasks, and childcare notwithstanding. Buck the Cuck concludes. When my wife told me she wanted to open our marriage and take other lovers, so it's not just one, it's multiple lovers. Multiple lovers. Right? Multiple. Probably at the same time too, without him being involved. She wasn't rejecting me. She was embracing herself. When I understood that, I finally became a feminist. You are a mangina of epic proportions. You are the biggest mangina. No wonder she doesn't respect you. No wonder she wants 20 other dicks in her. Right? Wow, this femtard goes, this revelation makes more sense. It's clearer that than the point he seems to have muddled through earlier in the piece. After all, feminism is not agreeing to whatever terms a woman sets for a relationship on account of being historically so fucked over. What's history got to do with it? This is not history. This is right now. Think two wrongs make a right? Right. So if you fuck someone else, right, and then he bangs a chick on the side to get back at you, you're gonna be cool with that? You're gonna be cool with that, Tracy Moore? You walking egg cemetery, you? You're gonna be all right with that? Nuh-uh. You're not gonna be cool with that. You're gonna be straight down to the divorce court. You're gonna, oh, he emotionally abused me. Why? Emotional abuse? Is it equality is emotional abuse? Like treating each other the same is emotional abuse? Because you ladies, look, I know there's some girls who have been emotionally abused out there. I'm not denying that. But man, I gotta tell you, some of y'all chicks don't know what it's like to be emotionally abused. You might think you do, but you don't. You're not on the receiving end of a female in a relationship. God damn. But if a man can fully understand and accept his wife as a fully complex person with desires and needs all her own, and then sets out to negotiate those with her on an equal footing, yeah, that's feminism. If that comes through a discussion about sleeping with other people, so be it. We all find our own path to the light. The question is no longer whether marriage can withstand all this feminism, but rather all this equality. Get the fuck out of here. All this equality. Yeah, you want equality? Let's see some 50-50 marriage divorce rates. Oh, that ain't going to happen. Let's see men wanting marriage as often as women want marriage. Oh, that ain't going to happen because there's less in it for a man than there is for a woman. And now with this kind of bullshit, there's even less, right? It's like, okay, so the man's going to more than likely get divorced, more than likely going to be the one that gets divorced by the wife, more than likely going to be the guy that's going to pay for all the shit, more than likely going to have to give most of his assets, if not all, if not at least half. Even if you had a shit ton of stuff before you got married, you got to give half that up or more when you get divorced. And so many guys are getting dicked on this, right? And on top of that, right, I'm allowed to sleep around, right? All I got to do is just say, hey, honey, you know, I want to know what it's like to fuck other guys, to have other dicks inside me and have lots of cream pies from different dudes. Right? And I get that desire. Don't get me wrong. Like, I understand female sexual desire. Like, that's a very real desire. And I'm not denying that desire. I'm not denying that. Like, I'm not saying that this is something that's a social construct where women have been told that they should sexually desire other men other than their husband, right? It's biology, it's nature. Don't be mad at it, just understand it, right? But what I am saying is Guys, learn where to set the boundaries. You have to say, look, I understand that this is what you want, but if that's what you want, then I'm not the right guy for you. Go find someone else. Make your choice. And leave her with the choice. Leave it in her hands, right? If she wants to leave you now rather than 20 years down the track, you're going to have a much smaller divorce settlement, even though it's going to hurt. That's what I'm saying to you. Right? At least you can walk in the divorce court and be like, hey, you know what? You could even claim emotional abuse, right? By saying that, you know, she kept threatening to go and sleep with other guys. And you go into court and be like, listen, you know, I want a divorce because she kept saying that she wanted to sleep with other guys, and that's not what I signed up to. This is the contract, this piece of paper, even though contracts don't mean shit when it comes to relationships between a man and a woman, whether that be a prenup, whether it be a marriage certificate, it doesn't mean anything anymore, right? Their feelings is what matters more than anything, because that's what they get stuff based on. So don't be fooled. So if you could say, well, you know, here's the video of our wedding ceremony where she promised to be faithful to me. Well, he's going to go, well, you know, this is family court. This isn't, again, let's quabble about our marriage vows court. Right? The court doesn't care what she promised to do in that legally binding contract. By the way, it binds you to her financially and with terms of responsibility, but it does not bind her to you. Remember that. Understand that. Accept that. Because once you can accept that, and once you know that, once you've let go of that, then you can move on. Then you can make your decisions from there. By the way, quick shout out to Umair again, another $5 donation. Thank you, brother. Hey Sid, next Red Pill conference, please have some sort of super chat. Check entropy and or dive. Would love to be able to interact with some of the giants of MGTOW. I will I'll check those out. I'll see what I can do, man. Yeah, I get all my. Oh, I always have to come up close to the screen because all my text is so small. Because I prefer small text so I can fit more on the screen. So yeah, apparently if guys allowing their wives to go and sleep with whoever they want, if that's feminism, then fuck feminism. Fuck it all day, every day. Just don't marry it. That's all I got to say for today, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you comment. Make sure you share this with your red pill brothers that didn't catch this stream, or even the ones that you think might have, but you just don't want them to miss it. And if you're living in the US and you want to get smart with your finances in these tough times, check out Coach Creator Greg Adams' last video with CPA Chris. Let me just quickly give you the name of that video. You know what? I'm just going to link it in the description below. All right. Shout out to you, Coach. And thank you again for your $15 donation. I appreciate you, man. All right, guys. I'm out of here for now. If you want to donate outside of the super chat, paypal.me/SydneyMGTOW, or my bank account details, if you don't want them to take a cut for the US and Australia, are in the link in the description below. But other than that, brothers, you can support me by heading over to sydneymgtow.com/brave. I just got a message through from someone. I'm going to get to that. I'm going to message you after this. sydneymgtow.com/brave. Check out Brave browser if you are not happy with your existing web browser. If you are on Chrome and you like the functionality, you like the extensions, but you don't like the fact that it snoops on you, the fact that it invades your privacy, right, with all of the little trackers and shit in there. So head on over to sydneymgtow.com/brave if you want a really good, versatile and fast browser for your computer or for your phone. I use it on all my devices, my phone and my computers. And last but not least, Stefan5445 at the last minute with a sponsorship super chat, 50 euros. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that so much. Says, cheers, brother. Shame I missed you when you came to Austria. In any case, keep fighting the good fight, and greetings from an Austrian MGTOW monk. When I head back to Europe, I'm definitely going to be dropping videos on my channel way in advance. So you can hit me up, Stefan. Would love to catch up for a beer. Thank you, brother. All right, guys, I'm out of here. You know what to do to support me, even if that doesn't involve a single cent. I appreciate you guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.